I'm feeling grinchy this morning after that loss to Texas, 49-17. The Longhorns hooked us up and did it dirty to us out there in old Austin, Texas. The Gators take a nice little road trip. First time playing Texas in the SEC. We were hoping to give them a nice SEC welcome. That did not happen. Let's roll the intro and let's talk about the game yesterday, the future, what this means for Napier, how people are feeling. Did Strickland act too soon? Todd Golden responds. I mean, we got a lot to go over. Let's get into it. Yes, sir. 49-17, Texas Longhorns take down Florida. And from the get-go, you could tell that Florida was hanging on by a thread. Let's just keep it a buck here. Going into this game, there wasn't too much optimism coming from my side. I was like, look, defense might be able to keep it dirty. We can run the ball effectively. Can we keep it close? This Texas team has looked a little wobbly at times. And, after a couple of just not executing on offense and not keeping the defense off the field long enough, what came to be true was, they're just a better football team. And we got walloped. So what I want to do is talk about a few things because there's so many angles to look at this. I think you're going to have, again, as there has been this entire season, sides to this. And some people are like, there isn't a side. Screw Billy, we suck. Wow, cool, love that. And then your other side's like, give Billy time. Let's find the middle, boys. Let's have a nice, healthy dialogue here and actually look at the outlooks on this circumstances here. So all these things I'm about to say are very true. Ton of injuries, a third-string quarterback, just bad thing after bad thing, bad luck. All of these things are very much true. Yes, the team still fought moral victories. All those things can be true. We can still be disappointed. So those things I do agree with. Here's what I want to dive into. And then I'm going to also talk about Frank Frangie, who runs 1010XL. Here's what's interesting as well. And even though we all have opinions and thoughts on this, Nick Saban shared his voice's opinion about it. I tweeted about it. Again, people think Nick Saban's an idiot. Some people think that he's just saying that because, again, 3 weeks ago, Sabin was critical of the Florida Gators culture. He felt like before the offseason, he gave them some flack of like, they just don't look good, they look lost, which he was true. We would all agree on that. Since that comment and since that bye week, there has been a shift in the culture. And that's kind of what Sabin has said is like, look, I think you guys should give him some more time. There's clearly been a shift. Now, here's the thing. We all have our thoughts and opinions on how this should be handled. But there's so many talking heads that want the Gators to be successful, starting to see a turn. And I'm not saying that we're right or I'm right or they're right. You've got other talking heads that don't feel that way, and I don't think that they're right or wrong either. I think we all just want, again, the same thing and how we plan on getting there. Think about what happened yesterday. People were tweeting at Andy Staples like, hey, what's the buyout for Brian Kelly? What's the buyout for Brent Venables? I mean, that's how quickly this thing is rotating of you're looking around, it's like, dude, the head being called for coaches, it's like, if you don't win, the moment you lose 3 games, it's like, all right, we're talking about it. What's happening here. We're done with you. So that's interesting. I'm gonna go over a tweet that he tweeted. He kind of gave a whole synopsis of how he looks at it, why he thinks keeping a Napier is a good thing, and I think he makes some solid points, and I have my reasons to combat that. I think it's healthy to think from the other side of things, and I think that's what I came to fruition today when I was thinking about this game to talk about it, right? Because when you want to take the side of like, hey, we had a lot of injuries, we lost DJ Lagway, all these things. We'll go back to the bowl game last year with FSU. And I say this, and again, there's a few different things, and I understand that, but just hang on for me for just a quick second. When FSU went to that bowl game and they looked like shit, all FSU fans said, well, our whole team went to the NFL or sat out. And I go, that's true. But that's your future. What you saw against Georgia, that's what's coming back. Now, sure, you got a class coming in, you can go to the portal, do those things, but the portal isn't guaranteed, which they learned pretty quick with DJU. The class isn't going to make an impact day one, which we know that as well, too. And what we're seeing is the product that was placed on that Florida-Georgia football, or the Georgia-FSU game. So when you look at this game yesterday, a lot of young talent, and I think they didn't quit, right? But that's the future. And if you look at before and after DJ, we'll call it BD before DJ, right? And AD after DJ. Before DJ with Graham Mertz, it had some promise that looked good, but there were still some question marks. Then DJ comes in, the whole thing lights up. It's like a Christmas tree. Then after DJ, which, again, I don't think Warner is a true after DJ, but you can kind of get a picture here of like, I love what DJ does for the program. And we keep saying, well, once DJ gets out there, what about after DJ? Well, once DJ gets in, he'll sell it better. I hear you. But do you pick up what I'm putting down? I'm trying to play the non-Disney Gator aspect of this thing. Is like, look, because when I shit on other teams, I don't have these goggles on. I don't have these beer goggles on. How I look at the team. I just look at it from an objective standpoint of like, hey, like, you haven't recruited well. This is the team that's going to be there next year. You may add some pieces, but this is what you're working with, right? Jason Marshall's not going to be back next year. Now, Devin Moore should be back. Damian George, he should be back. These are guys who are out, obviously, right? DJ Lagua, Montrell won't be back. Trayon should be back. Now, again, they have eligibility, but will they come back from the portal? I don't know. And so those things are starting to ramp in my head as well. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, what about the portal? We'll get into that. Because, again, this class that we have coming in thus far isn't sexy either. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just simply trying to take a step back and be like, look, I know we have all these bad things that have happened to us. But that's the team. I mean, it's not like these kids are just like fill-ins, right? These are our dudes. These are our guys. Now, I understand a different circumstance situation, right? It was just bad from the beginning. And this Texas team is pretty solid. So how much weight do you want to put into that? That's up to you, right? But I think it is healthy to look at all angles of this thing. I still think, again, if DJ Lagway's in there, I think it's a little bit of a different ball game. I still believe that, but there is some questions, and I think this is why we have the people that don't believe in Napier, because when you do look at it from that perspective, you're like, hey, what's going on? And again, with that lackluster recruiting class thus far, you got to wonder what's happening here. Let's take a look, though. Of course, the show is brought to you by BetUS. We talked about this spread. I thought the total was very strange. Texas put up 49 by themselves, right? So the over would have been great here. I felt like it should have been. I guess they really felt that Florida wouldn't score much at all, and I guess they didn't have confidence that Texas would score many, but they had 35 in the first half. So we knew pretty quickly they were going to handle that business. The spread, I thought it was a little high. I took Florida because I'm a homer, and I understand that. But check out BetUS.com. Use code YouTube150 to get 150% back on your first deposit and 125% on your second and third deposit up to $2,000. So be sure to check out BetUS.com. Now, Frank Frangie, he said this on a little Twitter feed. And again, this guy, he runs 1010XL. He's a talking head for Florida football. He's a fan like the rest of us. This guy's been covering football for a very long time. So take that with what you will. I say that to say, like, it's not just some random person that's having any thought process. Again, this is somebody who's followed the game for quite some time. And again, that doesn't mean they're right. That doesn't mean they are right on this situation. It just means they have experience in this world. Like they've talked about it for years and years and years. And so their perspective of it is just a little more, I would say, wise in the sense. That's all. It doesn't mean it's always right. They've seen a lot of things and they have a different perspective on it. Listen, for the youngins out there, wisdom is a key thing to success. Myself, I'm a 30-year-old young buck, okay? I have learned over the years what wisdom truly means, and there is just something that if you're 30, 40, 50, that you just can't truly grasp that a 60-year-old has gone through. There's just that much difference in there, and like you have to appreciate that. For the youth out there, quick little on my high horse, just listen for a quick second to somebody that's older than you. Not me. Somebody that's much older than you. I'm telling you, experience in this world pays dividends. And this person may not always be the smartest, the sharpest crayon in the box, but the wisdom, the things they have gone through can teach you a few things. Anyhow, money. We all heard about the 70% of the NIL is going to that young core. This is something I want to talk about. There's a two-part system here, two-prong approach. I'm going to be critical again, okay? Because, and I said this last night, I trust in the Strickland decision to continue to support Napier. I said that. I said I have my reserves. I have been reserved since the Texas A&M game, okay? I said, you got to show me. I can't sell the hype no more. I can't be that Disney Gator for you. I can't go, we're going to turn this thing around because it hasn't shown me to be the case. The youth conversation, he said it again in his presser yesterday. Billy Napier did. There's a lot of youth in that football team, and you're right. And we've seen a lot of it. That was the narrative last year, and that was the narrative going into this year, that a lot of young guys, we talked about it with Zach Alberverdi. I remember it clear as day. We talked about Jordan Castell, Bryce Thornton, these guys that were looking around going, what the hell do we do? Right? A lot of youth out there. And now, and they played phenomenal football last year. Jordan Castell has digressed. Wrong word there. Why? I don't know. I don't have answers to everything. But I get it. There's a lot of youth. And I understand there's more coming back. And there's so many arguments. We don't know if they're going to come back yet. That's number one. Number two, if you don't trust in the development process that Napier's putting in, none of that means anything to those people anyways, right? But my concern is, again, I've heard this narrative before. You got to show me. You got to show me. I think there's a different youth movement this time around. I do believe that. I think your sophomores now will become more legitimate juniors, and your freshmen become better sophomores, and some of your juniors are going to become seniors. So there is some more. I agree, but I heard it last year. Okay? Next thing, and I've been told that the $30 million not being spent out to him and his staff is going straight to NIL. Helps you recruit high schoolers and portal guys. Love that. That's a shit ton of money. Given the fact that we heard that Ohio State spent $19 million, so if you're going to give me double that, spit on me. But I didn't see it last time. Why now? Why now are you going to give him the money? Or did you do it last time and we didn't do it? Because we've been saying, I myself have knocked on this drum that Napier says I won't get into a bidding war. And then you're going to have the Gators that say, well, I don't want to buy them unless they want to be a Gator. That ship has sailed. You can't say that and then want a championship caliber team. You can't say, I don't want you here unless you want to be a Gator and then get pissed when we lose. Those guys playing hard out there that we keep saying, oh, moral victories, they want to be a Gator. We're losing. So you can't say you can't have it both ways. You can't. I want those kids too. I think you can find somewhere in the middle. But playing for a school, playing for a logo, those days, I'm sorry, they don't exist. And even Holly came on the show. Shout out to Holly. He came on yesterday. He goes, look, that FSU team last year was a business transaction. Those guys that came into the transfer portal, they didn't play for the logo. That's why they didn't play in the bowl game. They came out there for a business decision to make their draft stock as high as possible, which they did. Kudos to them. And that's all that it was. Keon Coleman's not committed to the logo. That guy's a Michigan State guy. Went back to Michigan State, wearing the jersey. As he should. He went there too. It's not the same. It's not the same. I know you hate it. Don't hate me. I'm just a messenger. Okay? Just reporting news, as we like to say here on this channel. So there's just so many things. And again, the money, spending the money, we've heard this. I haven't seen in 3 years this man be extremely aggressive in the portal. Recruiting has got, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks to turn it around. We're going to just go sling $10 million at these 5-star recruits and look, I think with LJ McCray and Lagway and some of these guys, you can see how they can make an impact right away. Jordan Seaton, 5-star offensive tackle, has been lights out at Colorado. If that's the case, just go give me like 10 of those dudes. I don't need 25 recruits. Go give me 10 guys that can play today. I know that sounds dumb, but it's like at this point, you gotta send the ship tomorrow or next year. That's another thing. Next year, let's look at the pros. And I said it going into this year, same conversation. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But Georgia's gonna be no Carson Beck, which may be a positive to them. Ole Miss, no Jackson Dart. Ole Miss could be what FSU was this year. A lot of those guys, transactional situation where they're going to be gone. They haven't recruited very well. Ole Miss takes a dip. We play them. LSU, Nussmeier, I think he has one more year. He could be leaving, right? Cam Ward, no more Cam Ward at Miami. We play Miami. FSU is obviously in their own kind of kit and caboodle. Tennessee could look better. They got Nico still coming back. Kentucky, Brock Vandegrift, he might have a little bit of a growth. I'm just saying the schedule is still going to be a daunting, but there's going to be a lot of turnover from these teams that we're playing. Texas A&M will probably make a step forward. We play them as well. But just those are kind of just getting ahead of the ball game there. But look, I think I want to believe this. I want to believe that they're going to be extremely aggressive with that money. I also, here's the thing. They want to save money, right? They're talking about $26 million and saving it, but they're not. They're still spending it. They're reinvesting it. And I find that hard to believe too. Again, I'm going to be like kind of in the sense a little more reserved on these things because we hear a lot and you guys get mad at us and you get mad at myself, and I understand why that you do because we're a talking head and we try to give you information as best as possible, the things that we're hearing and things that we're told. And then when that doesn't happen, and I said it yesterday, it's like everyone wants to get mad at us, and rightfully so. We kind of stand in this position and put ourselves into this category, so we're at the front lines, and I understand that there's a responsibility with that. But I'm going to kind of be with you guys, and then look, I'm going to be more reserved. I'm not going to pump the bridge. And even Swolder, I know I'm on a little bit of a rant here, but I love this team just like you guys do, and I'm trying to have us all kind of see this thing at the best light as we possibly can. But Swolder even said, look, this isn't fun. I want to support this team. I want to give it all that I got and help these guys grow and do interviews to help them get a bigger NIL opportunity and help recruit for these guys and do all these things. And we're doing this. We're promoting the Florida Victorious, which is supposed to help recruiting. but we're not seeing it. It's not getting the return, and there's no ROI. As a fan, we start to get a little upset. We start to get a little frustrated. And we're like, you're breaking my heart here. You're cheating on me, right? Back to that analogy. It's like, how do I can't just blindly support you anymore. That's rightfully so. You want me to go and tell lies in the offseason, but not give me any ammo. You're stealing my ammo. You're shitting on it. You don't care. That's what bothers me. So LSU, obviously, they got clapped against Alabama. Unbelievable in that game. But Ole Miss, woo-wee, they look good. They made Georgia look mid, and we made Georgia look somewhat good. So that should be an interesting one. Lane gets over the hump, wins the big one. I saw people saying that, what about Lane winning the big one? Okay, he's 1 for 5. Kudos to him, though. He did it right. I told you, look, if this was the year, he had to get it done. He did it. Handled business. And he even said, look, we had this game circled. They beat us by 30 last year. We had to get it done, and they did. Look, I hope this, I don't know if it's going to clear any air. I don't know what it's going to do. But and some of you may not even want to listen to this. We're just disgusted, and rightfully so. Let's talk about the Todd Golden situation before we go. Let me do that. Actually, no, we'll talk about that in a separate video. But you guys be good. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about it? Am I too far on one side? Am I getting a little bit not optimistic now, or is you're trying to find a healthy balance? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. I'm sure that you will. I'm sure we'll get roasted. I'm sure some of you will half listen and thrash me like you like to do. But I do appreciate the comments and the support. You guys calling in, showing your love means the world to me. So thank you as always. Smash the like button, subscribe. The show is brought to you by BetUS. We'll see you boys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.